Right, so I've spent the past couple of days putting all my kitchen units together because they all came flat packed. I haven't filmed that because I was just screwing together boxes. I'm just screwing together a box. But if I could pass on any tips, it'd be these. Make sure you've got an area which is clear for you to make the units, and sweep the floor, because you don't want bits of nails or bits of screws puncturing the carcass and doing any form of damage. Also, when you get your delivery of your kitchen, open all the boxes and check for any damage. So I've got 3 doors which are damaged, and I've contacted the company and they're changing them because you only have so many days in which to do it. But then if you have a roll of gaffer tape, when you've unwrapped everything, you can tape it all back up again. But don't open everything at once. Open a box, inspect it, and then tape it back up again, so that you've got no risk of any damage. So I do that, take photos and photos of the reference number, what that part is, so that if you're getting it replaced, they know what they're dealing with. So sweep the floor and then put cardboard down. So this was a piece of cardboard off one of the boxes. You know, there's another one there. So build everything on a sheet of cardboard so you're minimising damage all the time. That's if you're doing... I only went flat pack to save money because I got a decent kitchen at a good price. And then if I just want to make 1 unit a day or 1 a week, you know, I can do. So it was no great rush, was it? So I make everything on cardboard. Then when you've finished that unit, I mean, I've just made this oven housing. So that's the box, oven housing. I've put everything what's left and the instructions in that box. And then I will stick that in the oven housing, like I've done with all these. So that's for that unit, that's everything for that unit, and then you know where everything is. Anywhere where you can stand anything, cut up the cardboard boxes and protect it, and it just minimises any damage. And then when I've set everything in, this is another box, just protect, that's some tape, just protect everything, you know. So I'm going to do the same with all these, and it's just about looking after your stuff and minimising any risk. Another couple of things which I like to use when I'm putting it all together: long shaft screwdriver. It's so easy, you're just working at a comfortable height, you know, you're not bending down on your knees and everything, putting all screws in. So a long handle screwdriver, and I don't like to put them together with drill drivers because I think they're only little screws. I see people doing it and you don't get a feel, I don't think, for how tight the screw is, or just stripping all the wood. I just like to put them together by hand. And then one of these. So all the feet had to be 155mm from underneath the carcass. So you just set that 155mm. You can hold that under the carcass, you know, see the bubbles level, and then just wind the feet out. That's if you've got it upside down, but otherwise you just do what you need. But it just sets each leg 155mm. Then if you've got screws to go in a certain distance from an edge, I had some at 9mm, so I can just move that to 9mm, make a pencil mark, job done. you know, little squares, really good. So what I've got, I might as well tell you. An integrated dishwasher goes there. Sink unit, corner cupboard with a cupboard up there. Oven housing goes in there. Upright fridge freezer. Corner unit. Cooker hob in the top. And some drawers. And then I've got a back to cover all those out of a decor panel. Then there's a wide breakfast bar worktop goes on. And I've got a cupboard to build for all this. So this is just a temporary support. The only thing what will be there is that manifold for the air source heat pump. So I'm going to build a cupboard there for that to sit in, then it's all easy accessible and everything, and that just works spot on. Extractor rises up out the worktop. If you've seen the video for the barn, it's one of those. So I've got a duct to get through, so I want to duct from under there, down there and through that wall. So that's just what I'm going to get set out for now. And set out for it, like I just said. So I've set out, I've got a special air brick coming with a damper behind it, so I just need to drill a brick out, so I'm just going to stitch drill it out. Right then, I've stitch drilled around that brick. I've got some of that to chop out, but I'm going to deal with this brick first. I only used either 5 or 6 mil drill bit because I didn't want to damage my damp course, which is there. So I'm now going to use a plug-in chisel and just work my way and remove all that mortar so I can slide this brick out. There's a tow wire in there, and I'll just put in a new piece of damp course because I've nicked it there, look. So I need to sort this out here. I've got to cut some of that off, and then what? And then I'll drill through there and take a measurement from the hole to here so I can transfer it inside so I know where to cut through. So all I need to do is line that corner up with the hole. Mark around it. My good neighbours are back out. Oh, there you are, look. Ham salad sandwich I've been given. Right then, that's through there, but then I need to seal all that because you don't want air leaking out for the air test all around that duct. And then I'm square there, which is important because I've got to get this duct in between all the legs on the units. And why would you not want to set off square? You know, if you're coming out at an angle, by the time you get your 90-degree bends on, you know, your duct is coming along here and it's at an angle instead of being all nice and square and everything. So I'm all square and then outside. I'm through there. I need to wall a brick in there. That'll be flush, and then I've got a special air brick which has got a damper on the back of it, so that will go on, but the air brick is white, so I'm going to get some, what am I getting? I'm getting some primer and some black spray, and I'll spray it all black so that it looks like part of the cast iron guttering, you know, because that's all black. Well, there, look, so it'll match and not stick out. Then that brick what I chipped there, if the flange on the air brick doesn't cover it, I'll chop that out and cut one on my grinder, just so it looks tidy. So I want to get this back in its position. That pipe is catching here, so I've got my hole saw. That measurement is just to the back of that board there in the void. So I've got my hole saw, held it on the line there, put a mark there on that side. I'm just going to plumb that up, stick myself across, and then when the drill goes in here, I'll drill it through that centre, so then that will go there. I double checked this as well, because I thought that that would have been tight against the back here, and I double checked it in the manual, and that's in exactly the right place where it shows. So I'm going to cut a stiffener just for in there, just to hold the top of that board, you know, because I don't know if I need to, but I'm going to do it anyway. Now I'll just saw cut along there, and I've got a nice slot. See, that's a problem I've got with the duct, it's hitting the middle leg down there, so I'm going to have to alter the legs on this cabinet, that cabinet, well, all of them. So that is the edge of the duct, so the duct sits there, so that leg needs to move this way beyond that pencil mark, but then I need a distance between that leg and that leg to get the duct in. So I'll measure that up now. So that is where the duct runs. Now I need it to fit between the legs. God, I wish. All that talk about fitting between the legs, I feel all fruity now. I think I might go and have a... Nah, I'll finish this instead. So that's where the duct goes. I want that leg to go in there like that, so that the duct misses. And I need to do that on every cupboard. This is why I said earlier about these long shafted screwdrivers. Just so easy for getting in. Right, so there's the duct, the line of the duct. Well, I've got to get it under these tall cupboards. That's the line of the duct where it runs that way. And these are the cabinet legs. So I've got to alter that one, which is, it's that one, and it needs to go there. So I need to sort something out for that. Right, so this is what I've done to move the leg. Just want to stress this is only what I've done, because I had this here. People might say you could have done this, you could have done that. Yes, I could, but I haven't. I've done this. So I've got a piece of melamine. I didn't cut it to length, it was already that long, but I altered the width. So I didn't want it to come in front of the leg, because if it did, it'd affect the kickboard. So that's where the front of the leg is, that pencil, so it's back. What I thought was, if I put that on, you know, I'm going to put the leg on there. It just adds a bit more strength. And I'm just going to put some gusset brackets on here, just to help support that. So that attaches to my cooker extractor. These are some 90-degree bends. That's a joining piece to connect the piece of ducting together. A couple of lengths of ducting, I have some more. And this is that air brick with a damper in. You don't know how much I paid for that, and it's crap. It's not crap, but it's just, you know, you look at them, you don't think, oh, I've got my money's worth. But anyway, I'm going to prime that and paint it black eventually. But it's just, they must make an absolute fortune on all this, because, yeah, it doesn't feel value for money. Let's put it that way. So these want to be 155 millimeters from the base, from the bottom of the base to the end of the foot. I just couldn't get it on this one because of the thickness of this. So I've put a piece of duct tape around the top and used it as a guide. So I've cut the top down so I can shove that in there, then wind the foot out to get me 155 mil. So I've got me 155. It is only just. If it needs to be 154, I'm stuck. But I can wind them all up to suit that one, so I can set everything to suit that leg. So I'm happy at that. It's at its mark. The ducting. It's gone through that leg. Look, it's missed it. It's where it wants to be there. Missed that leg. Every time I get my corner braces on there, I'll put 3 on there. That'll help hold that. And the proper gusset ones, so this won't lift. And then I might, once I get my kickboard, I need to rig some up here to carry the kickboard because it should clip to that leg. So I just need to sort something out and I try and make something there as a bit of a support later on. But now I've got to get this bloody unit laid back across here. It's hard when you're on your own. Well, I should say laid across without causing any damage or snapping the legs. Right, so I need to get under that cooker housing, the other end that housing, to alter its legs. So I've put it tight against these units here. Well, I just need to move that side up. I've put a saw stool there with a piece of wood on the top, which is level with this. And what I've got to be careful of is when you lift it, is snapping the legs underneath, snapping the legs off. So I'm hoping to put it tight against here, lift it an inch and use this like a fulcrum, like a pivot point, and lower it down onto there. So we don't know unless we have a go, do we? This is what it is. I'm not going to try it. No. No. Right, put some suckers on. No. So that's the back edge of my duct. So the duct goes there. That's the centre of the hole. So I want that leg there. Oh, got it down. I went and knocked on the door and asked a neighbour, and he kindly came over and gave me an hand, so I'm really grateful for that. I think you get the idea now. Well, in and through. And that bit will work nicely to come up to my extractor. Oh dear, I can't put that last bit in because I might need to cut that a bit shorter once I put my extractor in, because what happens is on the extractor there's a big metal box with an outlet. This outlet's got a pipe which comes down, so I want that in the right place so that when you open the cupboard and you look inside, all the pipe from this fan unit is all straight and vertical. If I get that in the wrong place, all the pipes are going to look on the piss, and you don't want that, do you? So I'll set that last bit once I know exactly where I'm going. So this is all in, but it's all got to come back out again because bits of plumbing to do. Oh no, I have altered the foot on that one. So bits of plumbing to do, but at least this is all in dry and all the work's done. It could all go back in. Well, it's all done, isn't it? So this is the vent which goes outside from the end of my ducting, but I don't want to see it as white. I want it to be black, So I've sanded it all down. I've given it a wash. I'm just giving it a degrease. Got some plastic primer. So I'll get it primed, then I'm going to spray it matte black. Right, so I need to give it 3 coats of primer and leave it 10 to 15 minutes between each coat. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've foamed up around the duct, ready for the air testing, and then I'm just going to go cut the duct off outside, flush with the brickwork, ready for the vent going on. And to cut it flush, I'm going to use my multi-tool. Absolutely brilliant piece of kit are these. Yeah, that'll do. On that air brick, where I chipped that brick, it's not covering, so I need to chop it out. So I've just tried stitch drilling. It's only 7 o'clock in the morning, it's Sunday morning, and I'm just conscious in my head of waking neighbours. I drilled 4 or 5 holes, but I just think it's loud. So I'm going to find something else to do. So these are them gusset brackets where I altered that worktop leg. I'm going to stick them on. I hate mornings when you can't get on. I can get on, but I feel guilty. I've put 3 gusset brackets on. And in fairness, I think I only needed to put that one on. But I only put them on because I had a pack of 10. I'll just stop it. whether I needed them or not, but I feel better for having them on, so they're on. Right, I've chopped that out. Just need to cut some bricks and get it walled in and made good. There you go, they're all cut, ready to wall in. But I've had enough. It's red hot. I know it's shady, but it's red hot. And I just can't be bothered. Truthful answer. So I'll show you them walled in next time and the grill on in my next video. Well, I hope you've enjoyed all this, and I will catch you all again next time. I'm off in for a shower and cool down.